Hey guys, today's video is all about Riven's laning phase. I'll be teaching you guys a lot of new stuff that you probably don't even know about, which goes through the mindset of a challenger Riven player. So with all of that being said guys, let's get right into that footage and I'll teach you guys something completely new. So the first thing that you want to do as a Riven in the laning phase is to take a look at what kind of champion you are playing against. For instance, in this clip that we are watching right now, we are watching Adrian Riven playing Riven against a Gangplank, and this is actually a very easy matchup for Riven if you know what you're doing. But basically, in this clip, he's doing the level 1 cheese. I'm pretty much doing this cheese myself all the time in Challenger. It works in the highest elo possible, and it's an extremely overpowered move. I'll show you guys how it's done by watching this clip. So, right here, Adrian Riven is waiting in this bush, waiting for Gangplank to take that 1 CS with the Q. So eventually, Gangplank has gone for it, and all you have to do is pull off your entire combo on the Gangplank and half-life him. But that's not the only thing. Most of the time, you will get a flash on the opponent. And in this case, the Gangplank has already used his flash, so he doesn't actually die at the level 1. What Adrian Riven did is to wait before Gangplank is like back in the lane again once he thinks that he's safe again, and basically he just goes in for the all-in by flashing in and take that kill for free. Right here is another clip of Adrian Riven doing the exact same thing again, but this time it's being performed against the Victor. So right here, he's waiting into the bush, he's waiting for Victor to show up and take that farm. He flanks him from behind, pulls off an entire combo, and that already makes him win the laning phase at level 1. This method can pretty much be done against any kind of champion that has a very weak level 1 as well as a very weak laning phase, and it will just work all the time. No one really expects it. So this is definitely the first thing that you want to think about. Now, what if you find yourself in a matchup which you know you can win, but you don't know exactly how? Right here, I'm playing Riven against a Kayle, and there's multiple things we can do because we know that Kayle is weak. But in order to get this lane going, the best way to do it for us is to freeze the lane at our side of the turret. Once we get that chance to go for the all-in, Kayle has to walk all the way back to lane in order to survive. But this also brings us a lot of benefits because as we are freezing the lane on our side waiting for the opportunity to eventually all-in that Kayle, we also bring an opportunity for our jungler to kind of set up the lane for a gank so that he can show up and also get a kill here for free. So I literally didn't do anything here at all aside from just freezing the lane at my side and getting a gank from the jungler, getting this super free kill. And this is how we are starting off this game right here. Also, if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm actually giving my jungler like an assist right here. But anyway, outside of that, this makes us have a really great start against Kayle. When you are winning the laning phase, it's very easy to start snowballing the game, but the thing is how you do it. And right here, we're still playing against the Kayle. We are winning the laning phase very hard, and we know we got that all-in potential, right? One of the best ways, which is very unused by a lot of people, is to flank the enemy team or flank the enemy opponent from behind in some kind of way. Right here, I just came back from the base, so I took that chance to go into the river and flank this Kayle from behind, and this is how I get another kill for free. Now, what if you cannot really get that at all? What if you cannot get that kill, but you're winning the laning phase, right? One of the best ways to do anything with that is to just push in that lane, pressure it out as much as you can. If you cannot take that kill or you cannot do that much, try to roam to other lanes instead while trying to pressure top lane at once. This is another very effective way to snowball in the game, even if you don't get any kills in the lane at all. One of the ultimate methods to get kills at level 1 and level 2 is by stacking up your Conqueror and keep on fighting and not give up on your damage. You do gotta know your limits though, but right here we are playing against a Cho'Gath, and that Cho'Gath was playing insanely aggressive. We've actually had a full entire combo off on this Cho'Gath, but we didn't stop there. We kept on auto-attacking the Cho'Gath so that we could eventually get that kill with like a full 5 stacks on the Conqueror. This allowed us to have a super easy laning phase against that Cho'Gath, but it only doesn't stop there, because I've also gone out of my way to try and set up the lane for ganks for as much as I could, so I could keep on snowballing on that Cho'Gath, even though like we all know eventually he becomes like a big threat. But as long as you deal with it the right way, you should always be fine if you make the right moves. But now, what if you have a very hard matchup that you cannot really snowball on, and also not really farm that well also on, and like you cannot really do that much in the laning phase in general, right? In this game in specific, we were playing Riven against a Gragas in the top lane, and we couldn't really do anything against him. So the best thing that I could do is to try and outnumber the enemy team by simply being at the team fight there before Gragas gets there at all. This is one of the most effective ways to be the most useful person of the entire team. The top lane always had this kind of problem that you are being too far away from the game itself, because like, let's be real honest, top lane is really far away from the team. So if you can manage to be at a team fight while the enemy opponent of the top lane is at the top lane at that point in time, so you're in like a 5 against 4, you will most likely win very hard. Obviously, you will sacrifice a lot of farm and a lot of creeps for this, but it really is well worth it in return if you can get like a dragon and like lots of kills and stuff like that. One of the things that Riven truly excels at is flanking people from behind, just like the level 1 cheese as well as the one that I've shown earlier. But this move is very effective against a lot of champions, and this one is definitely another example of one of them, because I knew that this Kale was going to ward in this bush. He had to, because he had no vision. So I took that to my advantage, and I was waiting in that bush for the moment to come that Kale was going to ward that bush, so I could go for the all-in, and this gave us another kill in this laning phase. And that's going to make us snowball even harder. My best advice that I got for you is to keep your teleport up for most of the time so that you can help your teammates at any moment in the game. Right here, I just literally pushed out the top lane and I've gone back to base so I could buy my items, only to teleport down to this ward and to flank the enemy bot lane from behind. Right here, I knew that Jax had his teleport up, but because I've already TP'd, because I'm already flanking them from behind, I am able to outnumber them throughout this entire time. So with all this time, we were able to get like some things down. It was still a very rough fight because obviously the enemy team were pretty strong, but the Jax was gone for a while and we've got a lot of things off here, even though the enemy team was insanely strong. So you should always use your teleport for the right moves. Do not ever use your TP too much for the laning phase when you don't have to. The teleport is extremely important in lots of games, and you don't ever want to waste it on just useless stuff. So yeah, this team gone really well. We got like a lot of kill stuff. We won it actually pretty hard, and only because of my move we were able to win this very hard. So what if you happen to find yourself in a game where you play against an Ornn or against a Malphite or basically any kind of champion that you have trouble dealing with because they're way too tanky and there's just absolutely nothing you can do, right? So in this game in specific, I was playing against an Ornn as well as a Malphite in the jungle, and there was completely nothing that I could do. So what I tried to focus on, as much as this game, I tried to focus on getting as much farm as I could, trying to keep the mistakes as far away as I could, trying to keep myself away from actually making any mistakes at all, and just trying to focus on roaming, getting the teleports off so I can snowball other lanes and try and get myself ahead through other lanes. You want to mainly focus simply on trying to pressure your lane and then helping your other teammates instead, because there's obviously nothing else that you can do in a lane like Ornn. So right here, I was playing as an Adrian, and I finally got this opportunity after 19 minutes of farming this game to have an amazing teleport from behind on the enemy team and to start this entire team fight and get lots of kills. Sometimes there isn't just anything you can do about the laning phase. Sometimes it's just literally about just staying safe in the laning phase and then eventually get like a good roaming off or a good teleport. It completely depends on some games, but this is simply how it goes sometimes. The last thing I kind of want to talk about as well is the laning phase itself, seeing those moments that you can go for the all-in and stuff like that. This comes more down to knowing your limits of the champion as well as many other factors. This is something that you can only master through playing Riven like lots of times. I'm talking about lots of times. But anyway, here's definitely one example which I find very interesting for you guys as well. So right here we were playing Riven against an Echo, and this was the point where we just got our Ghost Blade and stuff. We were definitely not fed in this game at all, as you guys can see in the score as well as my farm. It wasn't definitely not the greatest time of our lives, but we were fed enough to be able to fight this guy. So you want to look into seeing, like, for instance, the Echo just used his W right here, so he no longer can stun me and he no longer has a shield for himself. So I found that opportunity and I was like, okay, I'm just going straight in. I'm going all in, take that opportunity and take that kill for free. Sometimes you gotta see those limits. Sometimes you gotta be able to see, okay, that guy used to stun, it's time to go for the all in. Sometimes it depends on how much you know and understand about the champions and then like going for that chance. It's very important that this can only be mastered through playing like lots of times. It's not really necessarily much about the laning phase at all, but it just all comes down to knowing your limits. Anyways, guys, this was my Challenger Riven laning phase guide. I've covered lots of things today that you guys probably don't even know about, as what, like for example the level 1 cheese. But anyway, guys, if you want to see more videos like this one, basically covering my own footage of my Challenger games and stuff like that, as well as showing lots of things to teach you guys new stuff, let me know in the comments down below. If you got any ideas, for example, like team fighting guide or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below, guys, and I'll be working on it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Do not forget to check out my stream, because I am literally streaming every single day, playing challenge games and lots of things like that. So do not forget to check that out. And as well, if you want to talk to me, do not forget to join my Discord server. And with all of that being said, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you guys up in the next upcoming video as well as the next upcoming stream, man. Peace.